Hey guys, hope you had a great week. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get to the end of the week and I wonder what just happened? What did I even learn this week? So here are 3 things that I learned this week that I think make us a little bit smarter. Starting off with this, you can have a coronavirus and not the coronavirus that everyone is talking about. Coronaviruses cause any number of different illnesses, everything from a common cold to something far more serious like SARS. And every time I say coronavirus, I think of a corona. Notice the top is on. This is just a prop. I'm not much of a beer drinker, but if you look at the label, look at that little crown. Corona means crown in Spanish. And when you look at the virus, a coronavirus underneath the microscope, it looks like a little crown. So just remember that. There's a lot of concern about this new coronavirus out of China that some are worried about is highly contagious. There's still very little we know about this particular virus. We're learning more every day. And just a word of caution, a lot of the data and the numbers that we're relying on are being relayed from China. And sometimes there's a question about the reliability of those numbers. So we know this is an important story. We're watching a new coronavirus that has never been seen before. And so developing, important, but you can have a coronavirus and not the coronavirus that everyone's talking about. Second thing I learned this week is a really strong reminder about being very careful about who has your cell phone number. So check this out. The UN is calling for an investigation into Saudi Arabia for the potential hacking of Jeff Bezos' cell phone. Jeff Bezos is the CEO of Amazon and also the owner of the Washington Post. And the allegations are as followed, that he exchanged numbers with the Saudi crown prince, and the Saudi crown prince sent him some sort of video that allowed his cell phone to be hacked into. Just a couple facts that we do know. Jeff Bezos, as the owner of the Washington Post, is key. The Washington Post employed a columnist that was very critical of the Saudi kingdom, and Saudi Arabia murdered that columnist. The thinking behind these allegations is that Saudi Arabia was looking to somehow blackmail Jeff Bezos as the owner of the Washington Post to maybe change that coverage. Again, these are just allegations. And as you likely know, Jeff Bezos was having an affair, and that later became public. I might need a diagram to go through all these different storylines. It's potentially one of the craziest stories I've heard in a really long time. The Saudi kingdom says it's completely absurd. It's calling for their own investigation. But this is really important to know about regarding this story. The Saudi crown prince is in his 30s. He is going to be part of the leadership of Saudi Arabia for the next several decades, potentially for the rest of my life, and maybe yours. And he was in the United States in 2018 doing a charm offensive, meeting with the rich and powerful of this nation. And this is apparently when he exchanged phone numbers with Jeff Bezos. So one of the larger questions I think that we should be asking is not only about what does this potentially mean about one of the leaders of an important American ally in the Middle East, but what other cell phone numbers does the Saudi crown prince have? And were there any other potential hackings that we should know about? Again, this is still in the realm of allegation. Saudi Arabia denies it, but an important story to pay attention to nonetheless. And again, a reminder, maybe just pen pals. You don't have to give everyone your cell phone number. Oh my gosh. Final thing you should know about, and this has a little bit to do with the impeachment trial. When you're looking at the pictures of the Senate chamber, I want you to remember this. Many of the desks in the Senate chamber, nearly half of them, date back to when the United States government had to rebuild after the War of 1812. Remember, the British burned Washington, D.C. and part of the U.S. Capitol. And so these desks were furnished after that time. There's one desk in the Senate chamber known as the candy desk, and it has candy, obviously, in the inside. You're only allowed to have milk, does a body good, water, and candy on the Senate floor. The person that has the candy desk this time around is Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, which is very interesting because Pennsylvania is known as a purple state, meaning that it could vote Republican red or it could vote Democrat blue. And so he has the candy desk, which is very bipartisan because the senators can go by and just get a little candy. I'd go for like the mini Twix bar. That would be my thing, or dark chocolate. They say it's healthy for you, right? Anyhow, 3 things I think you should know that make you smarter this week. I'll see you next week on smarternews.com.